You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney theme parks podcast, and this is show number 230 for Sunday, the 7th of October, 2018.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my good friend Jayne Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, my lovely.
Hello there, my dear. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Busy, but then again, I think we always are busy, aren't we? I'm just getting ready, actually. I've got another Star Warsy troop coming up this weekend. Or I've just had one, I should say. So I'm kind of like in wind-down mode from it, really.
How did it go?
Very well. It's always a good one to do. It's one that's aimed at families with children, particularly with additional needs. So it's a really family-friendly troop. It's called Feel the Force. And there's not just Star Wars characters there, obviously. There's all sorts of movie characters. Anybody that's into cosplaying is there. And I have to say, I know a couple that do an amazing Mary Poppins. Absolutely spot on. If I can find some photos, I shall have to share them because they are fab.
Sounds intriguing.
And what have you been up to then, Michelle?
Well, I had my big weekend.
You did, yes.
And I got through. I am now a probationary instructor. I am very excited about my upcoming career, sort of not change, because this is a volunteer role, but lots of things planned. I'm going on things that involve learning how to drill and turn out, and lots of other courses planned over the next year, how to become an instructor. Very exciting stuff. Very exciting. And I've got to go at the weekend and buy some booze. And if it involves shopping, it's just perfect.
Well, this is true, but I do feel that I now have the need to call you Mom all the time.
Oh, no. You can't call me Ma'am. I am not an officer.
Oh, okay. Is there a correct way to address you in future?
Well, I gather I am a PI, but I do have the rank of sergeant.
Right. Okay then, Sarge. I'll do as me told in future.
Watch it there, Phipps, or I'll have you doing some push-ups in the yard.
Now there's an image that nobody really needs to have in their head. Thank you very much.
Absolutely not. So let's whiz on over, have some on this day in Disney history, see what's happening in the world of Disney historically over the next few days.
Alright, Mom. We're recording? I thought I don't do this section anymore. But I'm at university. You do understand that I'm busy. Oh, sure, whatever. Hello. This is Ciaran. And welcome to This Week in Disney History. Kicking off on the 6th of October, 1971, Walt Disney World's Sunshine Pavilion is officially dedicated on this day. Despite being open since opening day a few days earlier, songstress Anita Brandt sings the Orange Bird Song and Orange Tree, with Governor of Florida Reuben Askew pressing a button on an orange to formally open the $3 million Tropical Serenade at Sunshine Pavilion attraction. Moving on to 2011, the day after Steve Jobs died, Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Iger has both the US and Disney flags fly half-staff for a week in observation of the passing of the Apple founder and Disney board member. Let's go forward today to the 7th of October 1971. Disney's animated live-action musical Bedknobs and Broomsticks premieres at the Odeon Theatre in Leicester Square in London. This class film was based upon the books The Magic Bedknob, or How to Become a Witch in 10 Easy Lessons, and Bonfires and Broomsticks by Mary Norton. The film stars Angelina Lansbury and David Tomlinson. Still on to the 7th, but onwards to 1981, where an edited version of the live-action Disney horror film, The Watcher in the Woods. Wait, Disney made a horror film? Wait, let me have a look. I don't believe this. The Watcher in the Woods. Oh wow, they actually did. Huh. And this film was starring Betty Davis, Carol Baker, David McCallum, and Lynn Holly Johnson, and it was released on this day, the day that I said before. Based on the 1976 novel by Florence Angel Randall, the story focuses on a teenager and her little sister who becomes encompassed in a supernatural mystery regarding a missing girl in the woods surrounding their new home. Originally released in April 1980, the film is known for its notorious rewrites, reshoots, and recuts, including the film's original opening credits and conclusion, after being pulled from theatre. Now on to the 8th of October 2003, Mickey's PhilaMagic, a computer-animated 3D attraction, has its official grand opening in the PhilaMagic concert hall at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. The film was directed by George Schreiber, best known for directing Disney's 1988 animated film Oliver and Company. Mickey's PhilaMagic is a 12-minute long show featuring 3D effects, scents, and water, as well as a number of characters from Disney movies. It is shown on the largest purpose-built 3D screen ever made, at 150 feet wide. Last but not least entry for this week is on the 11th of October, 1955. Ticket books, $2.50 per adult, $2 per junior, and $1.50 per child. And these were available for the very first time at the new Disneyland theme park. As you can tell, I ain't got my mojo. I don't know. Goodbye. End of the show.
So as we sort of floated through some little tidbits of news there, Jayne, one thing that hit my mind that we will both absolutely adore and love was Mickey's PhilaMagic opening over in that there Walt Disney World.
I know, can't believe it's been that long actually. I love that little show.
I know, it's so cute.
Yeah, the smells and things and stuff, yeah.
It doesn't sort of, to me, seem aged, but does seem aged, if you know what I mean.
I suppose if you're going into it for the first time and not having had it retrospectively, if that makes sense, it perhaps doesn't feel as modern as some other things that are created as of now. Does that make sense? Whereas I think because you go in it and you know when it was first launched, it was of its time, and therefore you appreciate it for what it was, and the love just stays there with it, doesn't it?
Absolutely, 100% love from me, Jayne.
And it's inside. You get air conditioning, but hey ho.
Absolutely. And if you time your little mini nap just right, you might not get woken up by a squirt of water or very loud noise.
Yeah, if you're in the right place at the right time, yeah.
Well, I've got a sort of assortment of things we can sort of peruse and chat through this week, and as well as that, I'm sort of going to tie in to a dining review from my trip.
Oh, okay, right.
So the first thing I'd like to sort of mention is there's been announced just this last few days some refurbishments over in the Magic Kingdom.
Oh, okay, what we got going on?
7th of January till the 2nd of February sees Peter Pan's flight going for a bit of a refurb.
Oh, okay. Nice time to take it down when it's quiet, yeah.
But it doesn't really say what they're doing, and it's sort of like just under a month refurb. So is it just, touching things up, a bit of a tidy, a bit of a clean?
I'm going to say it sounds more like a bit of a spit and polish.
Yeah, because I know when I was there in the extended queue, if you're going through the standby line, there were some elements that were not working properly, and one night we went and the projector was down and the next day it was up, but it wasn't working properly. So maybe they're addressing some technical issues for that really cute interactive part of the queue line, which, next time you get there, you'll be able to enjoy.
Yeah. Well, I suppose there's lots of things, isn't it, that need a little bit more than maybe a couple of hours work on them, that they can't always get working properly, which is why these little sections of a few weeks down are needed.
And another one made my heart leap with joy.
Oh, what was that?
But alas, it's only temporary. The Tomorrowland Speedway is going down on the 2nd of January for several months to accommodate the construction of Tron, and I gather parts of the Speedway track are going to be adjusted so that the new building can go ahead and be built.
So they're going to cut a bit off the corner sort of thing?
Well, if it were me, I'd put a great big bulldozer through the centre of it. But
Well, I think me and you are on the same page with that one, Michelle.
well, even if it just, I'm not going to go on. I've spoken about that. So yeah, now I have some good news from Disneyland.
Oh, okay.
What do we both love to do in Walt Disney World when we go and visit to get a sandwichy type treat?
I'm going to say it's three little words. Earl of Sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disneylanders were devastated when the Earl over there in their downtown Disney closed because of the proposed fourth hotel.
Yeah.
Well, Disney have now halted those plans. They've put a sort of, due to a bit of kerfuffle with the city of Anaheim, it's now not going to go ahead at the moment. So basically, the good old Earl is opening up again.
Oh, that's good of them, because they could have told them to go forth and whatever, couldn't they?
Yeah, okay, they're going to be earning a bit of ka-ching because the prices aren't that cheap. You know, most of your sandwiches are $9, which is a fairly hefty chunk of change because I remember paying about $5-6 for them in not so distant past.
Yeah, but they are good though.
They are good, and it tempts me to go to the carbolicious side, I must admit.
There is a little bit of a temptation there. I would agree with you there, Michelle. And although the good thing with the sandwich, as we found when we were over in Paris, there are other options than the bread ones.
But Jayne, just forget all the sandwiches. Just get the bread pudding
I was just gonna
and the
say.
chocolate brownie sandwich.
Yeah,
Ding dang do.
bread pudding. I love that bread pudding, I have to admit.
That bread pudding is worth going to Disneyland for. I hate to say this, but watch this space. There may be a Disneyland trip coming up sooner rather than later.
Uh-oh.
I know, well, because of my involvement with my volunteer commitments, I'm going to be going to Northern Ireland next year when I was planning on going on the cruise.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so it's like, cruise, you're going to be deferred probably for a year.
Which is a good thing that deal that you got, Michelle, you can do that with.
True. And I can't fit in a Disney World fix next summer because the prices are just too ridiculously expensive in the time period I've got to go. It's too expensive now to get a flight for Easter because the prices are sky high. I can't go at the end of July just before I go to Northern Ireland because in that little window, the flights are like £1,500 each. It's ridiculous unless I want to do a flight that has 4 stops on the way to Orlando.
Oof, no, thank you.
So at the moment, I'm contemplating a Disneyland sneaky trip, but I'm just waiting on one or two things.
Yeah, it's a tricky one when you're trying to get out to anywhere stateside from the good old UK because, and especially for us working in education or anybody with children and families, it's rather expensive at particular times of the year and we have to kind of just time it right to get a halfway decent deal, especially on those good old flights.
Absolutely, and you know, when you go to Disney, you want to spend the absolute minimum amount of money. And talking of that, Jayne,
okay.
This is a really nice segue. That social media literally exploded this last week with a price hike in Walt Disney World's fountain, bottle drink, popcorn pretzel and chilled frozen snacks prices this week.
Okay. What happened?
It basically, everything's gone up.
What, by lots?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I thought we'd play a little bit of a game of where serves it cheaper? Is it Walt Disney World or Disneyland?
Okay.
And seems, Jayne, you've not been for a while. You will be a little bit more out of sync of the prices than I will.
Just a little bit, yeah.
So I'm going to give you an item. You're going to try and guess how much it would cost in Walt Disney World and Disneyland, and then I'm going to see if you are right.
Oh, prepare for lots of mistakes here. Go on then.
Okay, so the first item on the list, and this is one of the items that has been subjected to this price increase, as I said, is a churro with a dipping sauce. Doesn't matter what the dipping sauce is, but a little pot or maybe chocolate or caramel.
Right, okay. Churro and dipping sauce. Do you want which side of the coast would the country?
Don't
would
care.
You, don't
Just
care.
give me a price.
Well, you see, I would have thought, stupid me, obviously, that it would be the same price no matter which side of the country you're on.
Go on.
Okay. Let's go $6 in Disneyland and $8 in Disney World.
Oh my God, what's the churro got on it? Gold drops.
Well,
it's only a churro.
Well, yeah, but you said they've been hiked up.
Well, yeah, but a churro, basically, Jane, what is it? It's nothing. It's a bit of sugar, bit of flour, little bit of egg. Mix it all up, make a bit of a batter. It literally will cost what? And I'm pushing it here, about 50 cents, 50p. Come on, let's be honest.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't stop them putting a great big profit margin on it.
Well, yeah, true. Right, I'll just give you some sort of info on this one, because obviously you're sort of living in dream world.
Hey, well, you know.
In June,
Yeah.
a churro would have set you back $4.50.
Okay.
They are now $6.25.
$4.50 gone up to $6.25. That's a pretty decent hike. I wouldn't even like to work out what that is percentage-wise, but that's more than the cost of inflation, as I would say.
Yeah, and when you bear in mind, these are from a cart, so you can't get discount.
Yeah.
Okay, now the next one was the Disneyland price. If you go over to Cozy Cone, they're $5.29.
Right.
Obviously, they've all got sales tax to go on top.
Yeah.
Next one, let me see. Would you like to compare a chocolate banana or a Mickey bar? Your choice.
Let's go for a Mickey bar.
Okay, a Mickey bar, a classic of any holiday, which is obtained free on the Disney Cruise Line. Just thought I'd drop that one in. How much do you reckon your standard Mickey bar is going to set you back in Kaching?
Again, I would have liked to have thought it was the same price no matter where you were. $2.50?
A Mickey bar, are you ready? I think you'd sit down for this, Jayne, has gone up 75 cents to $5.75 bi-coastally.
But it's a Magnum. No.
I know. Basically, you can't just buy a box of Magnums for that. You can buy the Magnum factory for that.
Oh, this is where I'm glad I'm carb-free now.
I think that's ridiculous. Nearly, you're looking at £4 for one ice cream.
Yeah.
When you say it in English like that, that's a lot of money.
It is a silly amount of money.
But they are both the same in both parks.
Well, that's a bonus then.
Yeah. Okay, next item.
Okay.
Popcorn in a refillable souvenir bucket.
Is the refillable souvenir bucket of any particular persuasion?
It's just bog standard Halloween fare by the looks of it.
See, I'm not a popcorn person, but it's...
And by the way, the popcorn, when you get it refilled, you do have to pay a charge for, just so that you're aware.
So in a refillable bucket, souvenir bucket, $8.
In Walt Disney World, $10. In Disneyland, $12.
Wow, that's a lot of pop for your corn.
Yeah. Okay, last but not least, and this is just a price for Walt Disney World. I didn't find out for Disneyland how much this was going to cost.
Okay.
How much will it set you back for a bottle of Smart Water? My beverage of choice, by the way.
Good old Dasani Smart Water. What? Oh, this is going to be something silly, isn't it?
Yeah.
$5.
$5.50.
See, that's a lot of money for water.
Yeah. The cheaper water, the sort of cheaper brand, is $3.50, going up from $3. It's a really big hike that they've sort of jumped things up a little bit. And I would just like to say a big shout out to WDW News Today, who publicised the prices that led me to think of this little featurette.
Yeah, I think the problem with this is the fact that, 50 cents doesn't sound much, but I think you've got to look at it as what the percentage increase has actually been. And I say it's going to be above the cost of inflation or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, they seem a little bit jumpy.
Yeah, and when you think about it, for me personally, when I go to Walt Disney World, I will probably drink the equivalent of 4 bottles of water a day.
Well, especially in Disney World, when the temperatures are going to be, the sort that we can experience going in the height of summer, you've got to, we've banged on about it enough before that you have to keep yourself hydrated and be careful of those sorts of things. And obviously, we know the little sneaks of buying water in before you get into the parks and what have you, but yeah, that's when you're a captive audience and you haven't got anything with you, then that first bottle of water is going to be a bit of a sting, isn't it?
One of the things that got the most staggering price rise in my mind was the Mickey pretzel served with the little pot of cheese sauce.
Okay.
Little bit of bread.
Yeah.
$7.
Jeez, that's... Yeah. Like I said, I'm quite glad I'm carb-free now.
I know. It's wonderful. The almonds went up in price as well to $6 just to make things sort of evened out. And also bottled sodas. A bottle of Coke, $4.50.
But how daft is that, though, that fizzy pop laden with sugar is cheaper than, effectively, your water?
Well, I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to advise. And talking of advising, if you are planning on a trip to Walt Disney World and you are wondering how to maximise your budget with regards to water, what I highly would recommend is doing one of the following. Bring with you a camel pack. A camel pack is a type of rucksack that has a big bag in the back that you can fill up with water, and that water can be obtained from any counter service, from the water fountains in the park. You can add those little flavourings of syrups that make it a little bit more pleasant to get rid of the Florida water taste. That saves a fortune. Or you can get a lift for the taxi app people, rather than just flagging down any old stranger, over to the Walmart and get a crate of water, and ka-ching, you've saved a fortune.
Yeah, I can say there's ways and means, isn't it? And paying those prices in the parks is a little bit OTT.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's just move on now because we've got a dining review.
Ooh, where are we going?
We're going to the very newly revamped menu over at the Be Our Guest Restaurante.
Oh, okay.
And this actually does link in with a little bit of news as well, because the old Be Our Guest menu for breakfast and lunch, you're now able to get an alcoholic beverage with as well.
Yes, I had seen that, and my first thought was alcoholic beverage at breakfast? Really?
Well, some people do like a bit of a mimosa, Jane.
Oh, I mean, I like my glass of wine and what have you, but not at breakfast time, thank you very much.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to talk you through the dinner that we booked, but virtually the day the ADR window opened 180 days before the trip for Be Our Guest Restaurant.
Okay.
Because we knew that the menu was going to change, and we were quite keen to try it out and see what it was going to be like. So I thought I'd just sort of talk through a little bit about the experience and the evening, the meal, and the whole process. So we made the reservation, and unfortunately when we was making the reservation, we could not get a table for four for love nor money.
Oh.
I know.
Right.
Strange. So Kat and Lewis booked a table of two. I booked a table of two, but they were an hour apart. So on the said day, we went for the earlier reservation time and said, we're here to check in for our 5:30. We have friends who have a 6:30. Can you combine the two?
Right.
Luckily, they're very kindly obliged, because you go to this little podium and they basically said, do you want to go and wait over the bridge? But you weren't allowed actually into the Beast's Castle at that point.
Oh, all right, yeah.
So we were lurking there until they called out our name and we were escorted in, and we said to our server, please do not seat us in the West Wing, because basically you've got three choices of dining areas. You've got the West Wing, which is atmospheric and dark and quite spookily creepy, but all the way through the meal you would have had people coming into that room with their flash taking pictures of the scenery.
Yes, which would spoil the atmosphere.
It would. It really would. So we decided we didn't want to go and eat there. The other two options was the main ballroom, which is the big magnificent open space with the windows at the back with the snow falling down and beautiful.
Yeah.
Or there was the music box place, which really was the least appealing of the three, I must admit.
Okay, so where did you end up?
We ended up in the ballroom.
Oh, nice.
So we were happy. We got a good seat. My back was to the main walkway. Didn't bother me. I was quite fine. And the one thing they made us very sure of, even from the check-in at the podium to being entered into the restaurant to being sat down with the menu, that we knew it was a fixed price menu.
Okay.
Now, it only turned over to fixed price at the end of July, so I imagine with them making such pains to explain it was fixed price, they had guests arriving not knowing that.
Yes, so I'm going to say that's kind of a forewarning, isn't it? Yeah.
And I suppose if you're on the Disney dining plan, it's gone to being a 2 dining credit meal. And for me personally, when you're looking at a $55 plate, when I could go to somewhere like the California Grill and maybe push it to $80, it's not great value.
No, but I'm guessing it's gone up to 2 credit because of the cachet about it, isn't it?
Yeah, although to be honest, when we got sat down at our table, looking round, there was quite a multitude of empty tables throughout the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
I was sort of wondering, well, we struggled to get a table and it's quite empty. Well, I wouldn't say empty, but we saw more tables than we would have anticipated.
So are people changing their mind at the last minute, perhaps, when they're realising?
I don't know. I'd say it was probably working at about 75% occupancy.
Right, okay.
We got sat down and the waitress came over, and one thing I will say is if you are an adult, you are ordering an adult meal.
Okay.
End of discussion. So we were told what the options were, and we had to choose an appetizer, an entree, and then our dessert would be a selection of 3 things on a plate. And there was no choice for that. So say, for example, you didn't fancy one of them, could you have 2 of the other? No, this is the dessert trio.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The appetizers were a wide range of typical French cuisine. So you had a mixed field green salad, you had the classic French onion soup with the beautiful toasted crouton, Gruyere and provolone cheese, which is a staple at Be Our Guest because you can get it at lunch. They had the Maine lobster bisque with a little piece of poached lobster. They had charred octopus. They had a plate that came with an assortment of meats, artisanal cheeses. And the last option was escargot.
Ooh.
Now, for those of you who do not parler français, can I translate what escargot is?
Please do, Michelle.
Herb, garlic butter and toasted gremolata on snails.
Ew.
Lewis has been chomping at the bit all holiday. He had to have some snails. He had to have some snails. Everywhere there was snails on the menu, he had to have them.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So we knew what he was going to have. Well, Stephen couldn't make his mind up between French onion soup and the Maine lobster bisque, and he kept asking the server, I don't know what to have. So he just basically turned around to her and said, look, surprise me.
Oh, okay.
So she did. She brought him both.
Oh, bless her.
I know. I thought that was incredibly sweet of her.
Yeah.
Really sweet. I went with the meats and cheese.
Nice.
I think that was very, very nice for me. And I can't remember what Kat had. I think it was the octopus.
Right.
I think it was. I'm not sure. And I didn't get a picture of it.
Oh.
So we sat down and we're enjoying our meal. I did splurge. I did have a glass of wine. I thought, I am in Be Our Guest. I want an alcoholic adult beverage.
Yeah.
And they had one of the Kurt Russell white wines there. And I thought, oh, I will partake, thank you. And it was very delicious. And I think it was the partaking of the said white wine by Mr. Gorgeous Kurt Russell that sort of lowered my inhibitions a little bit. Now, this is a top tip for all you foodies out there. Never, ever drink when there are snails on the loose.
Why did they come towards you?
Yes, on a fork delivered by Lewis Sutton.
So did you take said fork and do with it what you should have done?
Well, everyone was egging me on and I didn't want to let them down. So I can basically say, I ate a snail and I hated it.
I was just going to say, go on then. Isn't it one of these typical foods that everybody goes, it tastes like chicken?
Actually, it didn't taste like chicken. It tasted like the garden. I'm sorry, it probably didn't taste like the garden, but all there was in my mind was, I'm sure I can taste soil and sand and gritty bits. I couldn't, but my head was messing with my mind at this point, and it was telling me, you don't like this, it's all wet and slimy, and it's an October morning, and one of them's just climbed up the side of the house, and it's all bleh.
No.
So for me, snails are for picking off your garden and moving to a nice different neighbour's garden who you preferably don't like. They are not for you to munch on.
I will take your advice in future then, Michelle.
But Mr. Sutton absolutely adored them. I will disagree with him on the old snail front. And when later on in the week he went to Epcot we went to the France Pavilion and he got a croissant with said green snail sludge in it, I did say no. And that was probably because I hadn't been drinking Mr. Kurt Russell's wine.
To blame Kurt Russell then?
Absolutely. He should have married me and not Goldie Hawn. And, well, he technically hasn't married Goldie Hawn, but you know what I mean.
We know what you mean, Michelle, yeah.
Yeah, so then you have your choice of your entrees. And you have a very nice filet mignon. You have a spice-dusted lamb chop, saffron-infused seafood bouillabaisse, roasted pork tenderloin. You have a chicken in a sauce with a wheat risotto. Mm-hmm. And then you have a smoked ricotta and corn tortellini.
The veggie option, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of something there for everybody. The steak was sensational. It was really good. I wasn't so keen with the fact it was with boiled potatoes. I just felt it was a little bit underwhelming. I felt it should have had maybe something with a little bit more pizzazz. Maybe a dauphinoise potato would have gone a little bit better, and then you would have had a nice sort of garlicky and cheesy creamy sauce that would complement the vegetables, but it didn't.
I was just going to say, actually, that's what I would have probably expected, something French equivalent, that type of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will just say the roasted pork tenderloin menu did make me laugh because it's sprinkled with bacon dust.
Bacon dust. Anything with bacon's good, but dust?
I know, bacon dust. Come on, Disney, bacon dust. If you're going to say you're going to include bacon, make it a big old slab of best back bacon. Bacon dust, my behind.
Yes, I would be with you there, Michelle. If you're going to put bacon on it, put bacon on it. Can't beat a bit of bacon.
Absolutely. Yeah. So then our plates were just whisked away and we were bought a rectangular blue plate with a really pretty stained glass pattern on.
Oh.
And we had a trio of desserts. And going from the left-hand side as it was served, we had a raspberry macaron with lemon jam and fresh raspberries in.
Ooh, yeah.
We had a very small, about the size of my thumb, white chocolate chip, as in the chip from the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Into chip, you had piped the grey stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it had a little sort of like white chocolate chip sort of square on it saying Taylor's Oldest Time, which was a nice touch. And then the last one was a dark chocolate truffle filled with Grand Marnier ganache.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
So basically, apart from the blue plate, everything was edible, including the white chocolate chip and that white plate, that sort of like white stained glass effect. Everything was edible.
Was it good?
For me personally, and you know I like my sweets, Jayne, I think Disney can do better.
Oh, okay. Why is that then?
The macaron was sensational. It was really good. A really classic French dessert. Everybody knows macarons. And with it being raspberry as well, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
The white chocolate chip with the grey stuff was just too sweet. It was ridiculously sweet. It was like just getting a whole pound bag of sugar and necking it.
That doesn't sound... I mean, I've never had the grey stuff, so I don't know what that is like, but I must admit white chocolate wouldn't be my go-to thing anyway, because I do find that too sweet normally.
Yeah. I think something else to showcase the grey stuff would have been more appropriate, because the grey stuff itself was very nice. I just think the white chocolate chip, no matter how cute it is, was there for show rather not for taste.
A bit overpowering.
Yeah. The truffle was nice if you like dark chocolate Grand Marnier truffles. It was incredibly rich. And for me personally, I would have liked to have seen another classic French dessert. Something, you know, different. You know, maybe a really exotic pastry that you could get with some nice creme pâtissier, maybe some kind of choux bun going on. Something that is amazing. Like, I've just been watching Bake Off, and they use these choux buns to make a religieuse, which is a big choux bun with a smaller choux bun on top, and that would be, you know, a showstopper.
Yeah. I was just going to say, because the French cuisine, particularly known for its patisserie, you've got an awful lot of things to choose from there. And whilst I would expect there to be the grey stuff on that trio, you've got a vast array of potential French desserts you could put on there, haven't you?
This is basically a dessert that can be assembled in less than 10 seconds because everything is pre-made, got out, put on the plate, out.
Yeah.
The idea of this menu is to get people in, out, and Disney ka-ching. And for me personally, I wasn't overwhelmed by the amazing food. It was nice. I felt the dessert was a low point. You do get to go and meet the Beast afterwards. And if you are a character person, it's a fantastic place to go and meet him because he very rarely goes out in Epcot. But that's about it.
Yeah, I'm going to say a nice, obviously, backdrop and surroundings to do that meet and greet in, isn't it? So how much was this then, as this fixed price menu, Michelle?
It was $55.
Okay. So do you think you got value for money then with it?
No.
No. Okay. Where would you have priced it at then?
Well, you see, you've got 3 courses. So you're looking standard anywhere in a Disney restaurant, $45 for a steak.
Yeah.
So when you sort of talk that sort of level, then yeah, you did get $45 worth. But in my mind, was I willing to pay $55 for it? No.
No. Okay.
I would not do this again. You know, when you bear in mind, the adult dinner was $55, $19 for the glass of Kurt Russell's Goji Chardonnay. Then on top of that, I had tax, and on top of that, I had tip.
Yeah. Not cheap then, is it?
You do the math, it's pushing $100. And to be quite frank, I could have gone to California Grill and had a sensational meal for that price point.
Yeah, and with you saying, Michelle, that you felt very much it's a kind of get you in and out, sort of, making the dessert very easy to do, that ka-ching element for Disney. Did you feel that you were rushed at all then through your meal? Because obviously with it being a high-end dining, you tend to expect to be able to take your time, etc., and roundings and one thing and another. But did you feel, as a result, you were kind of whisked in and whisked out, so to speak?
I don't feel there was the pressure to eat really, really quickly, but as soon as we'd finished one course, there was only a gap of a few minutes and then the next one presented itself. So I think we were in and out within an hour.
Wow.
So I've been in that restaurant at lunchtime and spent more time there.
Right, okay, yeah.
And I know a lot of people want to go inside the restaurant because it is beautiful. My top tip is get a lunch reservation and order online. Seriously, guys, if you're not ordering online, you are wasting time. Literally, every time I've been to be our guest, I have spent over an hour because you have to wait so long to wait inside the building for a free podium to order your meal. If you order online, you go straight through and sit down, and you're cutting out about 20 minutes wait.
But this is the sort of thing, Michelle, that I'm guessing that, particularly with first-time visitors to Disney World, that people aren't going to be necessarily aware of this facility, that you can order online beforehand.
It is a really big top tip of mine. Where there is the option to order mobile, do so, because places like Satuli Canteen are a classic example. I ate there 4 times this trip, and every time there was a queue to do a standby order of at least 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, so if you can just jump that queue, that's a big saving, isn't it?
So I do know a lot of people are wanting to know more and more about the cruise. I do have already recorded a review of the dining experience on Remy with Kat and Lewis. That will be coming up very, very soon. And I know my lovely friend Paul Tower-Nicky is saying, look, I'm over here in Pennsylvania. I've got a long time to wait for my next Disney trip. You girls, you're going to help me out with this. You've got to help my cravings. We will be talking more about it. So, Paul, I hope at least today has helped a little bit with those cravings for you, my lovely. And Jayne and I will be back very, very soon with some more Disney Dream Girls madness. If you would like to ask us a question or get in touch with us with any shape or form of question about Disney, you can find us info@disneydreamgirls.com. You can tweet or Instagram @DisDreamGirls, and you can go on to that there Facebook, join in the fun over there. We have got some goodies we need to give away, and we will be giving them away on our Facebook page. So bear with us, get ready, because the competitions are starting to be rolled out. It's a big goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.